it. I had never seen it. It was amazing. It's so good. We're back. J. Smith Cameron from Succession is here. HBO and streaming on HBO Max. Harry Hamlin's show is National Geographic's The Hot Zone Anthrax. Full 3-part series now streaming on Hulu. Our bartenders, Bobby Wooten III, Angie Swan, and Chris Giarmo. And David Byrne's American Utopia at the St. James Theater. We were just talking about Game of Thrones. I binged it all during COVID. I had never seen it. You're a big fan?
A huge fan. I think it was one of the greatest things ever put on television, except for Succession. But now, she said there's going to be a shocking ending to the season, and I said, was it like the Red Wedding? You know?
And she said what?
Well, I think she has yet to see Game of Thrones, which is a real treat for you.
You haven't seen Game of Thrones?
No.
I just watched it. I mean,
Yeah. No, I mean, it's not like, a genocide.
Right. They don't all get killed. Okay.
No, so it's not a red wedding.
Right, exactly. Okay, that's funny. That is really funny. You've done so much work on stage. What's been your favorite role on stage?
Well, probably as Bees and Honey Drown. But also, Juno and the Paycock was a big thing for me.
Yes.
Irish rep. Yeah.
But as Bees and Honey Drown, which was the story of?
It was about a con artist, but it was also a sort of a love story. I don't know how to break it down beyond that.
But that was a major breakthrough role for you, right?
Yes, exactly, yeah.
Yes. And when you met Kenny, your husband is Kenny Lonergan, the great playwright and filmmaker. And where did you two meet?
We met doing an evening of short plays with a Naked Angels type.
Yes, okay, so you were in the Naked Angels.
I wasn't in Naked Angels, but it was a sort of it was like a lot of Naked Angels people and drama department people mixed up together to make a drama department.
So it's really interesting because you and Kenny grew up with Matthew Broderick.
Yes.
They were best friends growing up forever. And it's really fascinating to look at the trajectory. I've had so much tequila. They poured me the strongest drinks from the beginning. But it's really amazing looking at the trajectory of you and Kenny, who now has an Oscar. You're on this huge hit show, Matthew and Sarah. You all have had amazing moments in pop culture through your run as a foursome.
Yeah, I know. I know. It's funny. Yeah, we had our first, their first kid, our only kid, about the same time. We had all these big landmarks together.
Anyway, there was no question there. I was just. Let's go back to our virtual audience. Noelle and Jenny from Georgia. What's your question for J. Smith Cameron?
Hi, we're huge Succession fans, and I love Gerri. And we want to know, she's tough as Teflon, and what do you think drives her to continue to work with Logan Roy? And is she just playing the long game?
I think I don't know what you mean by playing the long game, but I think.
Playing the long game to control the company.
Right. I don't know about that, but I feel like, okay, here's what I really think is that that didn't have the significance that seemed to connotate. But what I think is that for a woman to be that high up in a big, huge corporation like that the big achievement is just maintaining where she is. Like staying where she is her MO. And I think she's constantly maneuvering and the wheels are always turning how to be on safe footing. And I think that's why people relate to her, is that she's not wildly ambitious like the Roys. She's trying to, like, I don't know, protect what she has.
Protect what she has. Stay in the room. You know, Holly Hunter's character said something really interesting in season 2, where she was talking to someone about Shiv, and she basically said she's a fake, like she's not as smart as she thinks she is.
That's right.
Which made me think of Shiv differently. In your opinion, what do you think of Shiv? Do you think she's, and I want to know from Harry too, like, do you think she's...
I think she's really smart.
You think she's really smart?
I do too. I mean, we're talking like she knows exactly what she's doing.
Yeah, I think she's really smart, but you know, arrogant and angry and entitled, and so that's hubris asking for trouble.
Yes. Okay, Emily and Ann from Nebraska. Let's hear your question for Harry Hamlin.
Andy, I just have to say first, we love you. You're a gift to us all year. Harry, I remember when you were on The Sexiest Man Alive. You're still the reigning sexiest man
And my question is, Harry, did you actually say to Lisa what happened to Garcelle and that she looks so unhappy this season, like she said you did at the reunion?
Well, that's a good question. I was kind of wondering that myself.
Well, okay, so remind me of this moment.
Okay, so Lisa said at the reunion, Lisa said to Garcelle that you said to Lisa, what happened to Garcelle? She looks so unhappy watching her this season.
Well, I don't think, what I said was, because I've known Garcelle for years, and she's always so, in my experience with her, she's always been so sweet, so nice, so bubbly, so up, and it just seemed as though she had undergone some kind of a transition, and I wanted to know what Lisa thought about why she didn't seem to be the same person that we had known for 20 years.
Right.
I think that's what it came down to.
Jay, Elise B said, even though you were ever so briefly in the First Wives Club, what do you remember from that shoot? Who were you in that?
I was Victor Garber's lawyer.
Oh, my God.
And Victor Garber and I had been in Lend Me a Tenor for a year together on Broadway, and I was really bonded with him. So I was thrilled to be doing that with him. That's what I remember, really.
That's great. Harry, this is good. Scott from Texas wants to know the most nerve-wracking part about the first time you did full frontal for Equus. And at this point in your career, would you ever do it again?
No. I was 26, and I think that we didn't take our clothes off in rehearsals. William Ball was the director, and he said he wanted to see us naked for the first time on opening night.
Wow.
So, and I wasn't sure what was going to happen when my co-star got naked and got down on the floor and spread her legs in front of me. With 1,600 people out there watching, I didn't know quite what was going to happen. But thankfully, it was really cold in the theater. And nothing happened.
Okay.
Oh, my God,
you were worried you were going to get a heart.
I was a little concerned that,
Now, were you conversely worried about shrinkage? Because that would be my thing that I would be worried.
Always worried about shrinkage.
Yes,
The theater was cold. Are you kidding me?
Yes.
But, I had to do it.
It canceled each other out.
Yes. Danny C. wants to know if you're going to reprise your role in the LA Law sequel.
I kind of go forward. I don't go back. But Blair Underwood, who's executive producing, called me a couple weeks ago and asked if I would drop by. Not sure what that means exactly, but I said,
Who is the LA Law sequel for NBC?
No, I think it's ABC.
Oh, it's ABC's doing it?
Yeah.
Wow. Wasn't it originally on NBC?
It was originally NBC, but Stephen Bochco moved his deal over to ABC, I think.
Really?
So, yeah. So
one of the great theme songs.
Yeah, wasn't it Mike Post?
Yes.
Amazing theme song.
Yes. Yeah. Did you and Susan Day, were you guys buddies?
No, she had her own life that was very separate. Of all of the people in that cast, Susan and I knew each other the least.
Wow.
And yet, everybody said we had this amazing chemistry together.
Maybe that's why, in a weird way. Yeah. I wonder.
I don't know. I don't understand when somebody says you've got chemistry. I don't know what that means exactly, but
Well.
There you go.
Right. Where do you and Kenny keep his Oscar?
I think it's in his office.
You think?
Yeah, it's not in the living room. That's all I know.
All right. I want to thank Jay and Harry and the guys from American Utopia. For more, click around BravoTV.com. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for watching. Watch more clips here and subscribe to our channel here. See ya.